folks, welcome to this exciting video where you once again join me in the beautiful landscape of Scotland. And for today's adventure, I'm starting here in the beautiful lands next to Todhead Lighthouse. I just forgot the name of it, folks, but this is basically built in 1897, and this is a crazy Stevenson lighthouse from back in the day. And it is incredible to see the architecture of these old places. And I thought it's a cool place to start the video and just tell the story of that 1800s lighthouse right there. I think at one time a lighthouse keeper or whatever stayed in there and operated the light at the correct time of day. But I believe nowadays it's all automated and it's like an electronic system for making the lighthouse actually work. But I just thought, yeah, it's a cool place to come and take a look at it from like all angles in this coastal land. It's cool to have a wee walk about in the coastal land as well, because it's years since I've been up this neck of the woods. Yeah, check it out, folks. I love to see it. It's got a mad like balcony and stuff on it. I'm not sure if nowadays they're saying it's maybe even like a private residence or whatever. That's how I'm being respectful. I'm just viewing it here from the edge of the path as I go down to the coastal edge. The seagulls are making a mad noise at the far side. Yeah, see a lot of this. A lot of this here is concrete and stuff. It's super windy today, folks, and it is stormy in that inland, so I'm making the most of the conditions, and that's why I've ended up coming here today. Look at this. This is old parts of buildings or ruins of buildings. And you can just think of the history from the 1800s until now. A thing like this on the land. Kind of a lot of this stuff will have been thrown over like a tip or a midden. Yeah, I love to see that. It's just the architecture of these Stevenson lighthouses. They all looked pretty similar, but this one's quite low down in size. Some of them stretch way up into the sky. So it's interesting to see the different architecture of these lighthouses. The Stevenson ones looked the same, but they weren't all the same. And it is cool to think about that. As I explore, it's cool to think about history from all time periods. And I think there's a pipe or remains of like some old sewage pipe that dumps out of the lighthouse, so I can see it going out under the ground. And then I think another part of that is like a path or something that led out onto that rock. So we'll go and take a look at that. So on the top of there's like a steel door below the balcony, and I'm not sure what the difference was with that. There's maybe like a motor room or whatever that turns the light. Another interesting detail, it's got like a weather vane on the top, and that's so it turns into the wind, and as the wind blows past the opening on the back of the weather vane, it actually creates a vacuum, and that draws the hot air out the top of the lighthouse device. And that's a crazy piece of technology within the architecture of the lighthouse that would often go like unseen, or again, it's not just a normal weather vane, it's actually the way they designed it for the flow of air, which is super cool. Yeah, look at the angle of this. I'm not sure if that's an old outside toilet from back in the day. Wow, look at this, there's an old pillar. I can't even remember seeing this historical pillar in my life, folks. Look at that, the design of it. The old cast iron. What a scene of history this is, folks, eh? Wow, that's maybe been the side of the old path when they came up on that concrete area up the side. But this maybe was like a gate on like an old piece of land surrounding the lighthouse. I'm just thinking we'll go right around this side of the lighthouse as well for a quick look. Just over this ridge. Wow, look at that, the way it's whitewashed with the paint. And around the top it's actually little white bricks and stuff like that, which is cool. Oh, look at this. There's some old abandoned little shed down here. What has this even been, folks? I love seeing history that I've never seen before, and I think this, I don't think I've ever seen this before in my life. Even though I've been to see like Todhead Lighthouse and stuff, little things like this. Years ago I wasn't as good at exploring, and I wasn't as good at finding the wee historical wonders. Look at this here. It's been some little shed related to the lighthouse. Oh look, there's little steps here. This is incredible. Check it out, the old abandoned walkway up to the lighthouse. And it almost looks like there's been another bit of wall added on at this corner, and originally these steps went right up past that kind of area. And look at that, the sea's almost blue down here. Oh no way folks, this is so cool. There's literally steps going all the way down to this cove. I cannot even remember seeing this. Look at the old iron fence. See the cool thing, this lighthouse, this is probably like the original 1897 gate that was put in. And there's been like a track or whatever coming to this point. We'll go down and have a look. I've never seen this part of this area, and I've got no idea how, considering I remember going to the lighthouse and stuff years ago. Yeah, I just imagine how it must have been if there's been like a gate there. You can see the fence has led all the way down the side here. Obviously the coastal air in Scotland just erodes and corrodes that stuff so much. Yeah, every week I love bringing you history that I've never seen before, and this kind of area of the lighthouse is something that I've never seen, and it's blown me away. The iron railings and stuff have come right down here, and I've actually seen a documentary before about the Stevenson lighthouses in particular, and they often did have no other access to them apart from the water, and a lot of them had a proper access area from the water, and this behind me is that very access area. I was just taking a quick look over here. I'm sure the last time we came round we basically went straight over to that cove. There's a beach with a massive waterfall and then like a big cave looking area up there. Listen to the seagulls down on that rock. Wow, I just hope it comes out in the audio. And then behind us the silhouette of the massive lighthouse up on the hill. The cool thing about this path here, it's got the steps all the way down that was put in back in the day. And just think how they used to shape and carve the lands. Yeah, I'm not sure when these little steps were put in. Let's take a look. Check it out folks, this is mad. Real Scottish history, hidden in wild landscapes. There's pipes coming down out of the ground and all the way down here as well. You can imagine the people coming round, and then maybe supplies getting delivered to the lighthouse keepers. They would come in by water rather than by land often. Oh, this is super cool. It's like if you lived up there you would have your own private little beach. And in Scotland each little cove has got its own complete character. And look how mad it is around this particular cove. The water's almost blue. And the rocks are just these crazy shapes, and that looks like it goes on for miles further up the coast here. And I'm still just weaving my way down these steps. This is a crazy part in the land right here. I love taking the viewers along on adventures like this through the medium of video. It's crazy, people all over the world can tune into the videos and see these wee corners of Scotland and what was done for the lighthouse keepers. And this is part of the lighthouse history, which is almost gone and forgotten. And look, this pipe comes all the way down from the lighthouse, and here it comes out here. So I'm thinking that's maybe like an old sewage pipe of some sort. Or oh look, here's an interesting fact folks. Look, this bit here has been dug out and then concreted around. And look, there's the outer wall of that. And then this piece here has been their little jetty where they would have come in with a fishing boat. Look at that, the massive piece of metal. All that for mooring up the boat. It's maybe super deep there as well. They potentially blasted it and created an amazing piece of land here for accessing the lighthouse. And it is just basically like a secret little cove. Let's take a look at this as well. This is another scar of the history here. Another piece of the historical story. Wow, those metal pieces right there. This is probably a bit of the Todhead Lighthouse history that you don't even think about when you see the building or whatever. It's all the surrounding things that was done for the use of it, the use of the water, like the lighthouse. That's obviously for the boats and the fishing, so they didn't hit the wild rocks. They knew where the coast of Scotland was, and I can actually see there's another one of these metal loops there in the height of the water. probably you could walk about far more when the tide's out. And it looks like there's more remains of some sort of concrete over there. Oh, that's so cool, folks. I can't believe I found this little area. Even this bit here, there's remains of what looks like a pipe or some type of historical artefact lying there. And there's loads of parts of that, because there's another bit here. It's maybe even things that's just been thrown over the years, thrown over the edge of the coast. So let's keep this adventure moving, folks. We've found the secret cove and we've documented it with the blue water and the old historical wonders hidden within it, or the remains of the history. And then to see this staircase, and look, it's almost like those two pipes have almost run side by side at one time, so they may actually have had electricity or whatever running down through a pipe as well, if they had lights within this building or on this little pier. This is the kind of history I have never documented it before on the channel. Let's see if there's any more wee nuggets that I've never seen. The rain is actually on today, and that's what it's just been like. I'm out all conditions just now, just going on these adventures, making it possible. And I'm just hoping the rain doesn't come on too heavy. I'm just imagining the old lighthouse keepers or whatever walking up here, maybe happy that they've just gotten their fresh supplies. But then also, these lighthouses must have surely been connected with the main road for the longest time as well. So right here, folks, I think there's been another gate going across this path. And that's insane. If I hadn't noticed that wee building and originally come down, I never would have noticed the little steps. And that's such a cool little secret cove. And there's little areas like that the whole way over Scotland. It's like ancient history just left to ruin and rot, ready to be found and documented. And you can see the way the iron just rots away. It becomes paper thin, and then before you know it, it's just gone forever and forgotten. These videos just document these wee historical nuggets. Let's take a look over here first. Look, what's this over here, folks? Look, there's been holes and stuff dug. I'm not sure also in World War II if they had like lookouts and things on the east coast here. See another interesting thing, look. It's been dug out with proper squares there in the ground. This has been dug out as well, that round hole. But let's take a look at this, folks. Because look, these are two perfect squares. And there could have been any type of building here at one time. This old metal tank is actually just in the corner of what would have been some type of old building. I wonder if they would have had tents here or maybe wooden sheds, and so much time has passed it's just gone and forgotten. Look at this, the angle of the lighthouse from here. There's actually a ladder that goes like right up onto the very highest part. I bet it's quite scary climbing right on the top. I think I need to wipe that rain droplets off the lens. Look at this, the corrosion on the old tank here. And look, there's an even older tank behind it. Check that out there. Remains of the cast iron, because you can see it there. There's a whole other cast iron piece behind that tank there, folks. It's often the layers of history I love to uncover on the channel, and it just shows there's been something there before this. It's maybe some ancient cesspit or soak away for the sewage even back in the day. Look, the fence has been right around here as well, look at that. And that's the same fence that we saw up the side of the path, so that shows that right here there's also been things going on. Yeah, look, there's old fence parts. I love to see the corrosion on there. I wonder if at one time there was an easy way to go down before the land eroded away fully. Then here's another little fence. There's maybe been little coastal paths, but I think this area here, it's maybe even been an area where they had like washing lines and things like that. There's so many theories. I often say a lot of theories all at once, even discussing the World War II history, because so much went on at each place and there's like so many different time periods. I just love trying to like uncover what I'm actually seeing, and then it's cool just to share that before it's forgotten. But right here you can clearly see some land works, and under my feet right here is the top of an old fence. so much years of vegetation and stuff's built up, and I'm guessing that's why it looks like a square. There's probably a fence around the whole area with the grass just kind of growing up through it. Look at these little bits of concrete. And then yeah, there's been a pipe, probably the sewage pipe, leading straight down out there. And then I believe the other concrete area must have been some sort of walkway out onto the rocks. So round at the secret cove, the weather was amazing and I was out of the wind, but now I've come around this side, it's proper extreme with the wind. But what an amazing view of the lighthouse. I just get blown away when I see these places, and I just never know what I'm going to be exploring next. Look how much has been done here at a certain time. I was thinking some sort of walkway, but to what? Look, also you can see here a big pipe. There has been another pipe back there going out to the water, but then this could be another main sewage pipe. I'm not sure what's under my feet here. This is an incredible wide bit. Look, it's got the old markings in the concrete for making it grippy on the slippy days. Oh look, they've had a railing out here as well. See that, folks? It's like real history. They've had a serious amount of concrete out here. I do apologise for any wind in today's audio, folks. It's just the craziest of weather. If it's not wind, it's rain. But it's amazing to keep seeing the history and stuff, like, even when the weather's like that. It's so cool to keep coming out. Yeah, it's had railings at each side. So this has clearly been a way that people must have walked regularly. And I've seen some lighthouses on like the documentary that I saw about lighthouses. They were like on a rock in the middle of the sea, and the only way up was a crazy walkway. And I often imagine like this cliff here may have had some kind of mad walkway up to it. Yeah, this area here, like what has it been? Look, there's brickwork out here. Right at this point, the wind is just gusting so strong. And it's actually like there's been something at this one little corner. Let's just take a wee walk around on this peninsula. I'm obviously staying safe. Yeah, look, there's loads of concrete here. For some reason, this little section here has been fully poured in with concrete. I'm just obviously watching it because I'm near the edge of the cliff. Oh, look at that! Whoa, there was a wee bird sitting in there. Yeah, look, there's loads of unusual bits like this. So I'm not sure for what reason they had put all this concrete here. That's like probably a 50-foot drop down onto the sea there from where I'm standing. Yeah, what an unusual piece of land. Let's keep pushing around here and see what else is on this bit of land. See for what reason they had done all that work with the walkway. Whoa, that's like a sheer drop here. And then look at this piece of land here. It's like a natural fissure leading through. Whoa, it's so high up off the sea. I was saying about 50 foot, it's probably more like 100. And the wild coast here, that's obviously why the lighthouse was built. It used to be obviously an amazing area for the shipping, for the fishing. Whoa, that's so scary down there because I can't even see the bottom. You can just, I need to just move away from this bit of land right here, folks. This is intense. It's so dangerous in Scotland. You always have to keep your wits about you. And then look over here, folks, there's more concrete being poured into the ground, and that's definitely what that is. Wow, all the land here is so fragile. It's all the bedrock cliffs, and that's just amazing to see this much work and history within this land. My favourite thing I found at Todhead today is that secret little cove with a walkway going down there. That would be a cool one to come back to in the summer for a wee walk about. I'm just heading back up now towards the lighthouse area. I'll have a wee look down this far side as well, just to see if there's any more history that I've never seen. And just think, 1897, they were probably out here pouring in their construction or whatever, building things like this. Maybe this was all covered over at one time as well, and it's eroded away with the wild weather. So look at, within this little cove here, there's loads of remains of bits of brack and bits of stone, and that's similar to the type of stone I was seeing up at the top of the lighthouse. That colour, that's almost like the same colour that's around the top of there. But I'm not sure what these were from. Probably bits of a building that's been tipped down the hill. Looks like that says Caledonia on the bricks, and that's often, they used to have the names wherever the bricks were made. Look, those ones are Paisley, Spears, Gibb. And then look at some of the other bits, just big chunks of concrete. See, that's like the World War II constructions with the bitumen coating on it, with the red bricks, and then the cement render like over the top. I've seen so many World War II buildings and wee installations it's like that, and I'm not sure if around this area they had a wee defensive building, maybe some sort of anti-aircraft position, because sometimes it was just a little square of stones and they were just given like a little Lewis gun or whatever, and it was probably to defend the lighthouse that stands up there. Wow folks, what an adventure. Look at these big chunks of concrete. This looks more fresh, maybe more recently tumbled down the hill. So much years of history in Scotland can be under your feet. Check this out here, this has been some big bases with something mounted on it. Look at that. Incredible scenes folks, who would even know what that had been? These are interesting little bits here. Bits of buildings have been bolted down or whatever, or little sheds. Oh, that's interesting, there's so many of these. I'm not sure if these have been dumped down here or if they've always been down here. Look at that. So there's a serious amount of bricks and things down here, but there's not enough to say it's conclusively like military buildings. It's most likely old remains of buildings and stuff that's been thrown down from the lighthouse. So look at this, the bricks here, it's those shiny, smooth ones that you get, and they're most commonly used like within buildings like that. And like I say, I'm sure that's the bricks that's like up at the top, they're white in colour. But I'm not sure what this has been at a certain time. Look at that. What? Look, it's like a big chunk of metal. Oh, it's maybe concrete that's been inside like a paint tin. All these big chunks of concrete. Anyway folks, let's keep it moving. I'm not sure whether to go further that way. The wind is just blowing the rain. If I go that way, it's extreme. The way these bricks are in the ground here, it almost looks like they've always been built in this position. It could be other little sheds or buildings that was related to the lighthouse originally, like we saw down at the other side, at the top of the steps, and even down right at the water's edge. So before I leave this site, I'm going to head over here into the wild land of the seagulls, and I'm just going to take a wee look at this side of that huge gorge that goes down into the North Sea. Whoa! Yeah, look at this folks, there's a wee historical wonder right here. Check how dangerous it is right here, oh my goodness. I'm wanting to document this history. Yeah, look at it, the wee pillar. I don't know what this has been marking, but it's maybe just marking the ground so folk know not to go any further, because it's just such an extreme piece of land. I was over that side when I went across that wee cement bridge like area. And it is incredible to see like why they've levelled that, and also they've had such a strong railing. I wonder if there's any more of these little stone pillars within the land, like around here. That's an interesting bit. I'm not sure what it would have been for. It's like a concrete, obviously, a concrete pillar. I'll go along this way, we'll do a little circuit. The seagulls are wondering what I'm doing out here on the rock. I'm not going any further folks, it's so extreme and wild along this way. But look at it from this angle. Look at these seagulls flying round, and on the water there's some total mad looking birds. There's some crazy black and white birds. They look a bit like ducks there on the water as well. Wow, the scenes are just incredible folks. The land, the history hidden within it. 1897 lighthouse history, and I've documented the abandoned history that's related to the lighthouse. And you could say it's not an abandoned lighthouse, but for sure the hustle and bustle of its original character is gone. But the building stands here in the land to tell the tale of the history, and look at the mad lands that it was warning of. Navigating the seas, the wildest of North Seas. And there is a few of these Stevenson lighthouses on the east coast of Scotland. There's another one down at like Skardiness. Today's lighthouse was Todhead. And when I go down to like that little bay with the steps kind of leading down to the secret cove, that's like some little James Bond entranceway. When he's arriving at the secret location, he'll be pulling the speedboat in there and then sneaking up the steps unseen. What an approach to this lighthouse, coming straight up this hill. The architecture of those pieces like underneath the main circle of the tower, it's just incredible. And quite often the colour combination was that. That's the same colour as a lot of the Stevenson lighthouses. Alright folks, that's me back up to the car, so I'm going to end this one here. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll be back soon with the next adventure, wherever I end up going.